Hey guys, so welcome to another episode of Scales 13. I know I haven't made a video in a couple days. I wanted to release one yesterday or the day before, but I've been so busy, making sure everything's good with my family and everything during this whole coronavirus thing. Yeah, that's the thing. Some people think it's a hoax. Some people, are taking it serious. Personally, I think you should take it serious, but either way, it's affecting all of us. Everything's closed. A lot of supplies are missing, so, just be safe and take care of what you need to take care of. But anyway, yeah, so I wanted to just give you guys a little video since I'm sure everybody's in the house and they're kind of bored and stuff. So I'm just going to make a video talking about my blue-tongued skink today, just so that way I can get something out there. And yeah, this should be a pretty cool story. Must you go in my shirt? Okay. Wow. All right, guys. So let me talk to you guys and basically tell you the story behind me and this guy here, Panther. So, towards the end of college, I wanted to get a new lizard, and I wanted to get a blue-tongued skink. I had done a little bit of research about them, about basically, what they eat, where they're from, different things like that. And to be honest with you guys, and I'm willing to admit that I've made mistakes in the past, and I'm still going to make mistakes in the future. Who doesn't? And the thing is, I should have did more research, and I'm going to go into that in a minute. So basically, I knew what type of blue-tongued skink I wanted. I knew, wow, I want an Indonesian. They look really cool. I just like the look of that dark brown they have with the black legs. I think it looks really cool. So I was like, all right, I want one of these. And the thing is, I went to a reptile expo. I went to the White Plains Reptile Expo to get one. But what I hadn't done my research on wasn't the space requirement. It wasn't the, I knew about space requirement. I knew about diet. I knew about a few other things, right? Main thing I didn't know is about the availability of these animals and how availability is really different for each species. For example, northern blue-tongued skinks, they're they're completely captive bred in the United States because they're from Australia, and Australia does not export any of its wildlife anymore. Like I can even say the same thing for my Akimon or Thunder. He's 100% captive bred, and the rest of his species in America is, because no one can import these guys into the country legally. So let's hope that those standards are 100% effective. But anyway, yeah. So what I did not know is that Indonesian blue-tongued skinks are either captive born or wild caught. What I mean by captive born, if you guys have ever heard of those little, there's a little abbreviation called CB and CBB. CB means captive born. That means it was born in captivity. But the mother may have been gravid and was wild caught, and then the babies are born into captivity even though they weren't bred in captivity. Like the breeding process and copulation happened in the wild versus it happening in a captive environment. And when I got this guy, the guy I got him from said he was 4 months old. If he could tell me that straight off the back, either he was making a guess because of the size, or he may have had a female that was collected at some point that he got in. She may have been gravid, and she must have given birth 4 months ago. Either way, that's the age he told me of this guy, right? Well, so I didn't know that. I didn't know I was getting an animal that was wild caught. And from what I've seen from a couple people's Indonesian blue tongues, let me think. Who can I use as an example? Oh yeah, let's say like Brandon from Rare Earth, right? I had a great conversation with him when I was getting ready to get my Aki monitor. He said he has an Indonesian blue tongue. I was like, sweet. He's like, yeah, how's his temperament? I said, man, his temperament's fine. He's acts pretty much just like a northern. I can just pet him and pick him up. He doesn't really give me a bunch of problems. He's a skink, so he's not gonna crawl in my hand. But, he's not bad. He barely even hisses that much. He said, really? Mine's a jerk. And the thing is, blue-tongued skinks actually do have a pretty strong bite force. Now, in the 4 years I've had this animal, he's never bitten me, knock on wood. But if he ever did bite me, oh my God, they got some strong jaw pressure and it would probably hurt. But he's pretty chill. You know, like, I actually got really lucky because, especially with him being a species that is either wild caught or captive born, that means this animal's pretty much wild. Like, this animal doesn't have generations of captive breeding in its lineage. So I got really lucky that I got an animal that's so placid and doesn't try to rip my fingers off whenever I go in his enclosure. Yeah, he's really chill. He hasn't had any crazy health problems. Okay, one thing I did get wrong, that I will admit again when I first got him, was the humidity was wrong. I actually learned a lot about humidity from watching, what is the name of that channel? Oh man, what is the name of that channel? Give me a second, guys. Reptile Mountain, that's right. That guy is like the skink guru. So basically, guys, I always suggest that you read as many care sheets as possible before getting an animal. And I always encourage you to do as much research as you can, especially outside of social media. But a channel that I would recommend if you want to learn about blue-tongued skinks and a bunch of different species, diet, lighting, housing requirements, check out Reptile Mountain, guys. That guy knows a lot. He breeds his own blue-tongued skinks. He's been doing it for a long time. And you can see the love. All right, buddy. You can see the love that he has for these animals in every video. Like, he's a total skink guy, you know? And, you know, he has zoo a lot. He worked for the AZA. You know, he worked with animals professionally in zoos and stuff like that. And yeah, he's really good. So yeah, he has like a small business breeding them and stuff. Sorry guys, I keep tripping on my words. This guy keeps walking on my shirt and his claws are a little bit sharp. But yeah, check out that channel, guys. Reptile Mountain. Reptile Mountain's a really good channel, and he has some other animals on there too. I think he has Gidgee skinks as well, and he has like a ball python that's like 20 years old. But yeah, so I didn't have the humidity right. He got a respiratory infection. It happens. I was keeping him too dry. He told me that these guys like it between 60 to 90% humidity. I thought it was 20% to 40%. My goofy behind researching so much about blue-tongued skinks and not knowing so much about the different localities, I was looking at the requirements for a northern blue-tongued skink. Now, northern blue-tongued skinks can do well in higher humidity and lower humidity. They're not like there's some blue-tongued skinks, I think and don't quote me on this, but I think some of the western ones like it drier and can't tolerate high humidity. Then you have your northern blue-tongued skinks, and then you have all the guys in Indonesia and New Guinea that like high humidity, like this guy right here. But yeah, a couple rounds of antibiotics, cleared that up. He was 4 months old. I didn't want to take a chance. He didn't get better after like 2 weeks. He was getting worse. And after the antibiotics, he was fine. Now I just make sure I keep his humidity high. Another thing I wish I knew about at the time, and you gotta remember, guys, before I had a blue tongue, the only experience I had with reptiles as far as like doing things I could say correctly was leopard geckos, bearded dragons when I worked at a pet shop. It was like 5 of those things, man. It was so much poop to clean. And I think crested geckos too. Like, you know, yeah, there was a couple crested geckos, you know, some small time reptiles and a couple amphibians like newts and firebelly toads. But, you know, I didn't really know about advanced keeping, and this isn't really an advanced animal. I would consider it I would consider blue-tongued skinks, even the Indonesian, I would consider an intermediate. But, you know, there's things you got to do that you wouldn't think about with a normal species. Let's say, like, people consider bearded dragons and leopard geckos to be the beginner reptile, if that's what you want to call it, right? Well, those are arid species. They like it dry. You know what I mean? Like the leopard gecko does like humidity when it's shedding, but not constantly, not all the time. Not like these guys. These guys like it very humid. So what I do is I keep them on cypress mulch. I mix water all the way through his substrate once a week. I keep tinfoil on top of his enclosure over there. You guys can probably see it shining a little bit from here. And he just, you little jerk. All right, guys, so I'm going to cut this part. I'm going to come back later. He just took a massive crap on my... God, that was gross. All right, so... yeah, so, yeah, blue tongues do that. They like to pee and crap all over you. The good thing is, he didn't really crap on me. He just peed. But, yeah, they do that sometimes. But yeah, so he's doing a lot better now. As you guys can see, he's really big. And I got, you know, big man hands, and this is a big animal. One thing I wish I knew about before was ceiling enclosures. He should be in a 4x2x2 at least, like my, just like my Ackie monitor. Because the thing is, this animal, just like my Ackie monitor, also has a high humidity requirement. And because the air in my house is dry, I want to... No. I doubt you can squeeze under there, but I don't want you to even think that you can. But yeah, so the thing is... yeah, I just wish I knew about that before. Now, granted, right now I do have the tinfoil on top of his enclosure. It helps a little bit, but as soon as I get more space and I get a house, this guy's actually going to be... I've probably said it before, but he's going to be moving into my Ackie monitor's enclosure. Or I might just say screw it and just get him a 6-foot long ceiling enclosure as well. And I will definitely be putting my Ackie monitor in a 6-foot ceiling enclosure too. Now, another thing I didn't know about these guys is that, and I'm talking about early on when I first got them, is that dog food should actually be one of the main staples in their diet. So this is how I feed them. So an adult blue-tongue skink, which he is now, normally eats about... Can you hold still for a second? Now look, see? Now if he was wild, every time I did this, he would be trying to like chomp my fingers. Right now he's just trying to get away. Let me get a blanket or something. Here, do you want my shirt again? Here, take my shirt. Here, take the shirt. Take the shirt, crawl under the shirt so that way you can hold still. All right, buddy? But yeah, so basically, yeah, I just wish I knew about that earlier because it'd be so much easier to keep the humidity. Right now, I spray it in the morning before I go to work. I spray it when I get home, and I spray it at night with a mister. And once a week, I just take a couple cups of water and I mix it through his enclosure just so that way I keep the humidity high. And it's working fine. He hasn't had a respiratory infection since. But at the same time, I would rather have a ceiling enclosure just so it's less maintenance for me and just so I don't have to worry about, let's just say if I'm out all day, his enclosure getting dry. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's just what I learned and I dealt with. But, oh, yeah, I was talking about their diet. Wow, completely switched. Okay, so, yeah, their diet. So, an adult blue-tongue skink eats about once a week, right? Once, twice a week. Well, what I do is, to make sure he gets everything fortified that he needs, I feed my blue-tongue skink a dog food, a high-quality, grain-free dog food. And I also will feed him snacks throughout the week. Now, reptiles don't necessarily need snacks and treats, but, you know, just to get some extra calories in him, just so he's not like, you know, sitting there every day after the first 2-3 days waiting for food and he has to wait a whole another 4 days. No, I'm not. No. So what I do is I might give him like a small piece of fruit here and there. That's when he'll also get insects. That's when he'll get, sometimes I'll just give him just plain veggies, of course, dusted with calcium, or I might even do a home brew. So one day I might do a grain-free, high-quality dog food, and then I might do a home brew as well, just to give them variety, because with any animal, variety is key. You know what I'm saying? Like, even with dogs, I can't stand when someone says, oh, well, my dog likes the chicken, so I'm going to get the chicken. Why don't you get the other one? Oh, because this is what he likes, and you know what I'm saying? Like, well, did you ever try the other one? No, but this way is simple. Like, no, stop that. Because the thing is, humans, we switch up what we eat all the time because we have the ability to. An animal only gets what we can provide them. So therefore, we have to provide that variety. And yeah, remember, blue tongues are like garbage pails. They eat 50% protein, like 40% vegetable matter. No, 50% plant matter, with maybe 10% of that being fruit and 40% being vegetable matter. So, that being said, they're omnivores like us, so we should give them a high variety. So, you know, I make sure he gets exactly what he needs out of one meal, and then throughout the week I'll mix in the other things that he didn't get in that first meal, just so that way I know he's getting plenty of nutrition. Right, bud? Yeah, so, yeah, this guy, this guy's doing really, really good. So yeah, guys, that's a couple things you want to think about. If you do get a blue tongue skink, if you want an Indonesian, I'm just letting you know right now, at the moment, they're all wild caught or captive born. If I had known that these animals were primarily wild caught, I probably would have bought a northern and just spent more money and ordered it from like a breeder or something, because the thing is, I like to support the captive breeding of reptiles, just so that way we can maintain these populations and not take too many from the wild. But I'm stuck with this guy now, so who cares? And he looks awesome, and I love him. Love you, don't I? I love you and all of your skinkness. Yes, skinkness. But yeah, so, you know, just be mindful of where you're getting your animal from. Be mindful of its locality. That's another thing, too. I thought this guy was a Maruki when I first got him, because I thought all Indonesian blue tongue skinks were Marukis. Boy, was I wrong. He's a Teligua gigas gigas. So, Teligua gigas gigas is the common Indonesian blue tongue skink. Then you have the Merauke or Maruke, however you want to pronounce it. That one is it's also from Indonesia, but it's a different species. Then, of course, you got like Teligua. Let's see. There's the Key Island blue tongue skink. There's a lot of different. Indonesian blue tongue skinks. A lot more of these little tropical guys. They like it very humid. But yeah. So yeah, guys. Yeah, I just want to make a little video about this guy. And honestly, even after the respiratory infection, and even after, don't run too far, buddy. Even after the respiratory infection and getting a wild-caught animal and the fact that he could have been a jerk and everything else, I am still completely in love with this animal. He's super chill. He's used to me now. He huffs and puffs a little bit here and there, but he doesn't freak out like he did when I first got him, and he's never tried to bite me, which I am so happy about. As he starts to hiss. Don't make a liar out of me. Don't bite me. Nah, he wouldn't do that. But yeah, he's super cool. So yeah, guys, I've had this guy out about 20 minutes, and I want to get him back in his nice humid enclosure. So I'm going to end this video here. If you guys like this video, please remember to like and subscribe. Hit that little bell icon. Ask me any questions you want in the comments about the blue tongue skink. And wow, that's really annoying. And yeah, guys, just stay safe during these troubling times with this whole coronavirus thing, so that way when things finally go back to normal, we can all be healthy and happy and have a lot less stress to worry about. All right, guys, peace. Later.